Dear the Chicago Blackhawks, for the love of God, give me Mitch Marner. The city needs this guy so desperately to start some sort of movement for the team. There's only so much you can do with a roster of NHL toddlers, and even a tantrum-throwing teenager will spark something. I don't want to talk too down on our young guys just because I think they have a lot of potential, but it just isn't possible to win with a team that has no experience, especially when there's no coach and barely any veteran presence to teach them what they have to do. But Mitchie can turn all of that around. Bringing in a guy who knows what it's like to compete at a high level and have an overwhelming amount of pressure on him is something the Blackhawks desperately are in search for. Even though he has consistently crumbled under a lot of pressure, maybe the load will be taken off of him in Chicago compared to Toronto. I mean, that city literally lives and dies by the Leafs, and it's clear how much it actually affects their play on the ice. Fans have such high expectations for the playoffs that it's almost impossible to satisfy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Leafs aren't the biggest bunch of frauds to ever play the sport, but at some point you got to acknowledge the absurdity that is playing for a team with such disgustingly passionate fans. But going back to Mitch, he would also be sharing the spotlight with Bedard, which I think would be incredibly beneficial to both of them. Mitch could also teach Beds a thing or two about performing under pressure, considering the guy just put up 100 points in the regular season last year in a season-signing contract year. Also, putting a yuck playmaker on Bedsy's wing can be absolutely lethal. The world has seen what is possible when Mitch was on Austin Matthews' wing, including Matthews almost hitting a 70-goal dagger of a season. And as a fan who believes in Bedard being the next greatest hockey player since McDavid, I'm fully confident this addition to the team will make Beds a lethal sniper picking holes on goalies left and right. I truly think the Blackhawks are the dumbest team in the NHL if they don't make a huge push for Marner this offseason. I don't think that he will solve all their problems because obviously there's a laundry list of things that the team needs to work out, but I do think this is a great start, and getting a superstar like Mitch under contract is monumental for the development of our young talent like Bedard, Nazar, and Renzel. He can show them what it's like to be a star and what it's like to be good at hockey. Maybe he can give the team a little swagger like Kaner did back when we were running the league. A bunch of homegrown kids and a free agent coming in reminds me a lot of the Dynasty days. I just hope this organization is smart enough to see what is so obviously in front of them. I think the only real issue with this pickup isn't an issue with Mitch actually being on the team, but it's getting him to sign. Is he going to be a Leaf next year? No, hell no. The city doesn't want him for anything more than dressing him up as a scapegoat and sacrificing him to the hockey gods to make themselves feel a little better. So Toronto is really not who I'm worried about. It's the other teams that keep popping up that are going to go hard for Marner that I'm way more scared of. Obviously, I'm merely a fan, but there is only one real team that actually scares me, and it's Carolina. If I was Mitch Marner, why would I spend the rest of my prime with the rebuilding Blackhawks over the Hurricane that are in the perfect position to win a cup even this year? They also have the cap space to sign him a huge contract too. The only thing going against them is all the talk from players around the league about how miserable the facilities are there and that no one wants to go and play for the bunch of jerks. Again, I don't really know how true any of that is, but I do know I would probably be fine playing in a warm state and winning cups. So there's that to think about. But I do think there's a good pitch that could be put together to get Marner into Chicago. You can sell anybody on anything as long as you figure out what it is that they want. So here is my pitch to Mitch Marner on why he should sign with the Chicago Blackhawks this season. Mitchie, let's start with why you're leaving Toronto. The fans don't want you anymore.
Devastated. It's like a bittersweet feeling. At least I never have to watch Mitch Marner in a Leaf uniform again.
And the team can't pay you. First of all, those fans are absolutely insane for not wanting you. I'm not going to sugarcoat and say there isn't a glaring problem with your performance in the playoffs, because there is, but your regular seasons have been phenomenal. Multiple 99-point seasons and a 100-point season this year is nothing to take lightly. If you're doing that with the Blackhawks, the city would praise you. No one expects to make the playoffs or win the cup right now, meaning the pressure isn't as much of an obstacle here. With the team's plans of taking steps each season to reach that goal of a Stanley Cup, the win-now pressure that you're constantly facing will not be an issue. And going back to your performance in the playoffs, wouldn't it be sort of nice to get a break from it? With your help on the Blackhawks, I'm fully confident that we can make the playoffs within the next 3 years considering the development of our young stars and your already established dominance being in its full prime. And I think about coming back to the playoffs after that, with a clean slate and a stronger thirst to drink from Lord Stanley. That's when you can really prove to the world that you can perform in the playoffs, and with the Blackhawks, you would have the opportunity to own the playoffs. As for money, that isn't a question. You're getting paid for how you play, and as well as you can tell, we value you very highly here. This would be an opportunity for you to be a leader. You can mold the younger guys the way you want, teach them the things that they need to know, and mentor them for the success of the team. Chicago is the only place where you can get that leadership, money, praise, and the benefits of being a part of another Original Six franchise during the era of the next generational superstar. Speaking of Bedard, he's learning from you. You can show this kid how to be the next great one. This is a very different role than what you had in Toronto, but I think change may be the best thing for you, and we are more than willing to work with you through that process.